Tiger was an amazing captain. Just let the guys play. First meeting was, hey guys, I'm not a speech guy. You guys are the top 12 players in the world. Let's go play. So those teams, guys want to get on and win and go to the Tour Championship. Tour Championship means a lot to the guys. Oh, yeah. You look at the field at the top 30 at the end of the year, and it's like, okay, even if you didn't win, if you get to the Tour Championship, you know, that you've had a good year.
What is it like when Tiger's around?
The best.
Is it just, is there an aura about it, even with the players, where they just know that Tiger's here?
Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, so Preston has always had a knack at getting autographs. He's polite. He just had a knack for it. He knew where to stand. He knew how to say things. So his first tour event, I already mentioned, it was the World Match Play in Tucson, and Tiger was just coming back after, you know, some of the scandal and whatnot, and so no one knew if he was going to play for sure. He decides to play, and he comes out to practice the night before he plays Charles Howell. No one's there. I mean, everyone's gone home. No gallery, nothing. And literally Preston is the only kid there. And I just know because of what had happened, Tiger isn't going to want to do that. And I said, Preston, he's not going to sign it. He goes, yeah, he will. Yeah, he will. I said, he's not going to sign it. So Tiger just walked right by him, didn't sign it. And Preston was so pissed. I can't say it. Tiger was, blah, blah, blah. He was pissed. Okay, he's 9. Preston's 9. So Preston plays the Junior President's Cup in 2019 at Royal Melbourne in Australia, and Tiger's the captain. Tiger won the U.S. Junior. Preston won the U.S. Junior. Tiger wasn't supposed to play in the pod with Tony, but since he was the captain, he just decided that the day on Wednesday that he's going to be in Tony's group, Bryson, and JT. So we get on he misses the first hole because he's the captain, gets to the second hole, and he goes, Boyd, is that your son? Because, I mean, he looks a lot like me. He goes, yeah, that's Preston. He goes, that's awesome. He played in the Junior President Cup. How did he do? And I said he did good. They won. So as he's walking up the fairway, he waits for Preston to come inside the ropes, and that's the picture I posted on Instagram where literally Tiger talks to him for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And he's asking him about everything, and we get done with that week, and it was a really special week because the Junior President's Cup team won, the men won, and Preston got to be around all those guys. And I said, what was the best part of the week? Talking to Tiger Woods.
No doubt.
I'm like, wait a minute. When you're 9, you hated him, you know, because he didn't sign your autograph, and literally just being around him for a couple minutes.
I remember that
he has that effect, you know, because these younger kids haven't seen him play great. But when he won the Masters and won the Tour Championship, it's like I tell my kids.
But when he comes into the room, the player, like, that's.
Even the guys that say they're not intimidated, well, it's because he isn't as good as he used to be. He's still great. I still think he's winning.
But there's got to be Craig said that earlier.
I think he's going to win again. You saw those swings.
Oh, I think he's going to win again. If he wants to win again, he will win again. And I think he will because Charlie's going to keep him hungry.
Sure.
I just knowing Tiger and what he's done in his career, I think now that Charlie loves the game, it's going to keep him wanting to just come back. And Tiger he has this indomitable will. Look at all the things that he's been through that most people would just run and hide and just go away, and he keeps coming back. Yeah. I love, as a golfer and his will, I love him.
Also, the fact that there's a decent chance he won't beat Jack's major record.
Yeah.
But he can win the all-time.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want the all-time wins. Yeah. I would love to see that for him. So,
and I think he'll do it.
And he's changed with kids. Like the cool thing about Tiger is that he would have never had that conversation with Preston if he didn't have his own kids. Like, he gets it now.
Sure.
And it was a player, though. He knew he intimidated people.
Sure.
And he didn't try to intimidate people, but he didn't try to make people feel comfortable either.
But that was his ace in his pocket. He knew.
100%.
And through those 10 years, I mean, you couldn't.
The stats are.
But the stats are insane, right?
Yeah, and I think too. Like, I truly don't believe he was purposely trying to intimidate people because he just competes that intense, but his game intimidated people. He just got it done. He was a closer. When you think of his wins, he had a 54-hole lead 46 times, and he won 45 or 44 times of them.
I mean,
that's
So
unbelievable.
insane.
That's insane, right? And so
was it 33%, 30% of the tournaments over a
through
decade
that stretch.
Didn't miss a cut for 10 years, stuff like that.
But that's why when people say too, "Oh, he's the next Tiger. He's the next Tiger."
There's no another Tiger. There'll be
but especially now
Tiger.
because here's the difference. When Jack was playing, now the competition is so incredible.
Yeah.
You're playing against John Rahm, Dustin Johnson. I mean, Justin Thomas. Tony Finau. You can name them all. They're so good, and only this much separates that every now and then, Brooks will win a couple majors in a year and he gets lucky, and maybe 3 tournaments in a year, which is outstanding. But no one's winning 10 tournaments in a year. And
Well, I think the
back to back
equipment too has kind of brought everyone together too. Like when Tiger started, there was a difference in the equipment. Like if you were totally pure with those older clubs, it made a bigger difference than it makes now.
Yeah, Tiger had a bigger advantage. The guys that are long, when the advancements in technology, it's actually helping the players that don't hit it as far or as pure.
Sure.
I'll tell two things really quick about Tiger that are really cool. Just to, when I'm saying like I don't really believe he meant to intimidate people. I think his life, no one could appreciate how famous he is. Everybody wants a piece of Tiger Woods, and so I think he learned he had to just walk eyes straight forward. Even with other players, he had a couple buddies.
He's the most famous person in the world.
He really is. So people don't see that and understand that, then that's their fault. But so Tiger was this unbelievable captain in Australia for the President's Cup team. Very laid back, very chill. But when it came to when he was ready to tee off, he flips a switch. Most players don't do well getting more intense. It pushes them over the edge and it makes them, not perform as well. But so Tony and Tiger are warming up right next to each other because Tiger's going to lead. Tony's coming right behind him, and I can tell. I said Abe answered. He did not mean it the wrong way, but athletes just tend to take any quote and use it as fire. So Abe says, "Yeah, I can't wait to play Tiger Woods." He meant it like, "I can't wait to play Tiger Woods, my golfing idol."
But like,
Tiger puts it on. He's smart, and so I said, "Hey Tiger, I hear Abe wants you." He goes, "You know what they say, boy? What comes with the bull, you get the horn." So, and then Tony tries to say something to him. And Tiger doesn't respond. And Tony looks at me like, whoa, like he just flipped the switch. And then Tony and Tiger are in the final group at the Masters
at
when
Augusta,
Tiger wins in 19. And Tony's making small talk on the 5th tee because there was a little wait. And Tony says something like, "Oh, so how are the kids?" And good.
He was just locked.
Didn't say another word. And Tony's talked about that in the podcast where he's like, I just knew he was saying,
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm in this.
And he loves Tony. Tiger loves Tony. But
not.
I think that's what intimidated players, not just his game, but he truly competed being super intense.
Do you think that round has really helped shape Tony into being?
Yeah, for sure. That helped him win at Liberty National. It helped him believe in himself. He was playing with the greatest golfer of all time. I mean, Jack Nicklaus is incredible too, but I'm going with my generation.
Me too.
And some people say Jack Nicklaus, and those two are both fair to me. It's a toss-up, but Tiger just, I think Tony being around that situation, it'll arguably be the most memorable tournament of all time.
That's right.
Him getting,
no question, and he's in the final pairing.
And those pictures of them shaking hands and all that, I think that made Tony realize, I don't think I'm ever gonna have a bigger stage than this. And he felt like he handled it well. He was different after that. Even though he lost, he saw the best player in the world get it done. He was in that environment, and so Tony took a lot of positives from that, where he's like, okay.
Oh, it was such a great final pairing for him to be a part of.
Yeah, it was huge.
Unbelievable. Well, I want to say thank you.
Yeah, it was a blast
You're
talking
my
with
guy.
you.
I appreciate
on all
you.
your success.
Thank you.
You work your ass off. I've always seen that, and you're a great man. So congrats on everything.
What you got, Bobby?
So Tiger,
fire up! Yeah,
you guys
let's
seen
go.
that video of Tiger and Charlie? They both have the same mannerisms.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Do you and Preston?
Oh, that's a great question.
That is a great question. They have the same mouth as me. They'll say some of the fun, that we trash talk a lot in our family. That was part, like, I mean, it can get a little crazy at home. We're super competitive, but it's more just preparing them for anything that they're going to hear, too. But, mannerisms. I mean, Cam, for sure. Like, he loves wearing all black all the time now.
That boy is always known for his black.
You do see some of the same mannerisms, but with my kids, when they play, I don't see it as much as Charlie and Tiger. Like, it was shocking. When I was watching Charlie, it was bizarre. Like, the same.
And unscripted,
time,
too.
It's not planned. Like, I just think that it just happened that way because I don't know. Do you think I have the same mannerisms as the kid? I don't see myself necessarily in my kids playing. I see my influence and the knowledge or the training in it, but they have their own. They're 3 totally different performers. Preston's super laid back, almost to the point where you're like, really? You just did that in the heat of the moment like you didn't have a pulse. He's won junior tournaments and big national events with his shoes untied. Parents are like, his shoes are untied. I'm like, yep. Just that's just just whatever. Sometimes he ties them, sometimes he doesn't. He literally, there's video of him playing massive tournaments with a tee in his mouth while he's hitting. Kind of like the Steph Curry. Sometimes he shoots it with the mouth guard in, out, whatever. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
And so I don't see the mannerisms quite as much. But with Charlie and Tiger, I don't watch golf when my players aren't playing. I like to watch the majors on Sunday, but usually I'm there on the major on Sunday, so I don't watch much other than my players. I watched the father and son like every shot the last 2 years. I'm like, I love this.
It's crazy. It's so cool.
And to see that is like the coolest thing, because it's not, you can't practice that.
No.
You can't practice it. I mean, the club twirl's identical.
It's bizarre.
It's funny though.
I think
he's
it's
exactly
awesome.
like he is that Tiger is right now, but he's not like Tiger was when he was younger.
No, I know. That's a great point. Yeah.
He doesn't look like the Tiger of 1997.
Well,
yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
That's because what he's around.
Of course. I mean, could you imagine being Charlie Woods? Your dad's.
Yeah.
When I say that I believe Tiger Woods is the most famous person on earth, if he's not, he's top 3. I mean, when your dad's that famous, to have to be around that constantly, I mean, that helps you grow up really quickly, right? Yeah. But it's just a whole different world of life. I mean, you're Tiger Woods' son, for God's sake.
No one else will understand that.
You couldn't possibly understand. No one could possibly understand that. But
Charlie Woods is probably one of my top 5 players now, besides the tour guys.
You got to get him recruited. You got to start,
I just like the whole idea that I see a different side of Tiger. I think he's done an unbelievable job with Charlie, because you can tell when he plays, he's playing for himself.
Sure.
He's not playing for dad.
Sure.
And I can tell Tiger gives a lot of credit to other people, saying, oh, Mike Thomas, Justin Thomas' dad's helps him with his swing. Tiger has these handprints all over the place, but he's just stepping back to let Charlie do his thing. I can see that, and I hope Charlie makes it. I think that would, being a father, whenever I see other father-son stuff, it's like I'll comment on other people that are having their kids out on the road, or they're watching their kids, even if it's not golf, other sporting events. I eat that up because that's what's important to me.
Sure.
So in my mind, I can't help but think that Tiger doesn't have that goal and dream that he's going to play in a PGA Tour event with Charlie. And not just because Charlie gets an exemption when he's 15, 16 years old, but in an event where literally they have a chance to be playing together and actually kind of competing side by side.